red technology. Now, I've been using this camera quite a bit for paid work and personal work. I do think, right off the rip, there needs to be a new firmware update pretty soon. However, I didn't buy this camera waiting for a firmware. I bought this camera for what it was when it came out. There's no more elephant in the room that the H.265 in N-Log is soft, but I didn't buy this camera for that. I bought this camera for the Red Raw, which is the Red Raw NE 12-bit. It's not the 16-bit like on the Komodo X that I'm filming on right now. I wanted to use this as a video camera, especially for interviews. Before I was using the Sony FX3 and the FX6. I sold the FX6, got the Red Komodo X, and then I was using that as my B camera. And it was good, but it needed a lot more adjustments, and it didn't have that raw codec that I absolutely loved out of the KX. So I went ahead when this came out and bought the ZR. And I haven't regretted buying this camera and selling the FX3 once. I've been using this camera a lot for construction work and filming on the water for a bait and tackle company. And this camera has not let me down one time. I also filmed a wedding and it performed flawlessly for the whole entire day. If I can trust this thing on the ocean with breeze and waves and salt water in the air, I can trust this thing anywhere. Zero overheating issues. I had this thing out in the bright sunlight. It was like 90 degrees that day. I ran a V-mount battery plugged into the side here to help with power draw, and I ran through one singular battery for the whole 6-hour day, and to me, that's pretty damn impressive. I had the camera running for maybe 3.5, 4 hours out of that time. Like when I put the camera down, I turn it off for the most part, but I had it on probably for 3.5 hours total that day and still had juice in that one battery that was in the camera. What's incredible to me is this right here. So the camera's on. Like I can start recording, it's off, and it's on. If you know Red cameras, the KX now with the new update takes about 20 seconds to boot up, and this is less than a second. The ability to turn the camera on and off super fast has been crucial for me, especially in documentaries where action happens fast and that camera needs to turn on fast. I'm trying to conserve battery and can't have the camera running the whole entire time because the kit is smaller. I only have one battery on the job. That's where this camera comes in handy. I've also been using this as my gimbal camera. I have the old DJI Ronin S, the original like metal construction gimbal, and I've been flying this on there with a, believe it or not, Sony 16-35 or a Laowa 7.5 millimeter within the 4K crop mode on this camera, which I might add is also fantastic. And I've just been using the heck out of this thing. I've been abusing the heck out of this thing. It's performed flawlessly. Now, when it comes to image stabilization, it's not as good as Sony is, but it's right there. It's knocking on the door, especially with a native lens like I'm filming on right now. That is the 24-120 Nikon f4 lens. And when I put it on here, the image stabilization is top tier right there. When there's an adapter, I find like a little bit of wobble, especially on 16 millimeters. And then when I'm using manual lenses, it's pretty damn good. To sum up the use case for this camera, it is a legitimate workhorse. Now, let's talk about storage and how I use this camera. So, as I stated before, I'm always filming in Red RAW. I've tried the Nikon RAW, I've tried the ProRes, I've tried just regular H.265 10-bit, and I always come back to the Red RAW. Like I said, I bought the camera for the Red RAW. I'm used to that codec. I know how it grades. I can push and pull the image a certain way every single time, and I know how it's going to react, because this camera, even though it's 12-bit, reacts just like the 16-bit camera. I'm always filming in 4K on my projects. 4K, 23.976 frames per second. That's one thing I wish they can do, is give me a true 24 frames per second. That would be nice. I had Sony before, the Sony FX3, unless you were in DCI, didn't film a true 24 frames per second. So it's not a real complaint from me. It would just be nice to see. 4K, 24 frames per second, 4K, 120 crop. That is amazing in this camera. So good. And then 4K, full frame 60 as well. There is 6K in this camera, but that's when you run into massive data files. I hope there's either a compression coming out for that in firmware 2.0, or I hope there's, like I said, there's some sort of H.265 file that's going to have the red codec in a log form, which is kind of cool, but I'd rather just have a more compressed form. But if they don't ever give me that, I'm fine with that. Again, this is a B camera. I only need to run it in 4K. I do not need to run it in 6K. And the data is more than manageable. On that 6-hour day where I was filming out in the ocean, I was filming a mix of 4K 24, 4K 120, and 4K 60. It was about 280 gigabytes worth of footage. And you might say, damn, that's a lot. But I've been running the red Komodo X, either in ELQ or LQ, so these numbers aren't that crazy. Yes, they're a little bit higher, and it's only 4K, whereas the camera I'm filming on now is in 6K. It doesn't matter to me. I am there for the story, I'm there for the art of it, and if this camera is going to help me do that, then I'm okay. Hard drive prices are up. I have plenty of solutions for that. But version 2.0, I hope there's some sort of compressed ratio. I don't need open gate. Focus peaking would be cool, and when you turn the camera on, you can do this like little toggle in with this button right here. Try to get my face out of there. With this button right here, you can zoom in and out of your image to grab focus. That turns off when you start recording in Red RAW. So there's little things like that I wish to see in an update. However, the one that did come out has the little red line for clipping, but I load a LUT into the camera that shows shadow clipping and highlight clipping, and it's like a false color built into the LUT. It's fantastic. I don't need false color on the camera. There's people that say they want it, but again, it's a $2,000 camera. I highly doubt Nikon will put false color in here, and I'm good with just rocking that LUT. That way I don't have to hit any buttons or anything like that. It's just right there, and it's telling me what's going on while still seeing the original image, and it's not grayed out. The autofocus in this camera is stellar. That's the biggest strength for me for a running gun scenario. It's much better than the Komodo X, and I've used it plenty of times. It's reliable, it's consistent, and it doesn't like jump even with an adapter on there. I've seen there is problems with certain adapters, but I run the Mega Adapt. It's perfectly fine, but I'm mostly running the Nikon native mount on the camera or running manual focus lenses. I have no complaints there. My absolute favorite feature on this camera is the low base and high base ISO, one being at 800 and the other being at 6,400. I've used it a bunch of times for night construction work where there's not too much lighting in particular areas. Flip it to 6,400, throw in a f1.4 lens, and you can film 4K 120 at night with zero issue. The ISO 6400 is clean, reliable, and when it gets dark out, you can trust it. Running the battery alone in the camera without the V-mount is average. It's nothing to brag about, it's nothing to dump on. The battery can last a long time. However, if you crank this screen up to its max brightness, of course it's going to drain faster. But I would not trade this screen off for better battery life. One thing I've recently done on a project is take a couple photos with this camera, and it's actually really good. I like how the RAW files edit within the Nikon system. I've never edited Nikon photos before, and I do have to say they're very nice. There's a million people that already made these videos of the what do I want to see next out of the ZR, and something I want to see, and it might be the only like major thing for me, is some sort of compression ratio, and that's really it. Red has the ELQ, LQ, MQ, and HQ. All my social content I film in ELQ, and all my doc work I film in LQ. So I would just like to have that match on this camera. Then I can film in 6K on the camera, or 4K if I really, really want to save on data rate. So my final verdict is this camera is amazing. It's a workhorse. It pairs well with my Red Komodo X. It paired with the small rig cage here. I have plenty of mounting points for the camera, and a little bit better of a grip to grab onto. As you can see here, the Red Komodo X doesn't have like the fastest autofocus. It kind of depends what setting I'm on. Like I can't get that to focus unless I'm like really right here. And that's where this thing shines for me, is fast, reliable autofocus when I need it. I don't really use autofocus all that often. However, when I do, I'm definitely grabbing this camera like 9 times out of 10 over the KX. I bought the camera for its advertised specs and not for hopes of future firmware updates. And with that said, I'm extremely happy with the Nikon Z100. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you want to see certain firmware features, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Or if you had the camera and still have it or sold it, I'd love to hear why.
Tiger. Madana Mohana Muari.
Madana Mohana Murari Haribo Madana Mohana Murari Haribo Madana Mohana Murari Haribo Madana Mohana Murari
您好啊，朋友。
Hello, friend. I'm so happy to see you again, 'cause I've been down and alone, and I'm grateful you've come here to take me home. I've been wandering around with no direction, no. You reached out, took me in, gave me love, you gave me life. You're a real friend. Hello, friend. I'm so happy to see you again, 'cause I've been down and alone, and I'm grateful you've come here to take me home.
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Madonna, Mohana, Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madonna, Mohana.
Govinda. 时光
What if I ever had the time hasn't dripped away? There's been times when I thought I'd really loved, but with time it just faded away. Time passes, nothing stays the same. Oh, time steals life away. When I was a little younger, I remember I used to say I like things the way they are now, but they never ever stay the same. Life here is just a mirage. I can't hold on to a thing, 'cause it slips right through my fingers, and only heartache it does bring. Oh, time rips everything away. Time passes, nothing stays the same. And the end of another precious day. My body, it's getting older, and my hair, it's turning gray. Sound is a reminder I'll be leaving here one day. The waves of time are rolling on and on and on and on and on. I can't hold them back. Lord, it feels like there's something wrong. Whatever I am now, tomorrow will be gone. Though I feel I could live forever, when this birth, death will surely come. Oh, time rips everything away. Time passes, nothing stays the same. Oh, time steals life away. Time passes, nothing stays the same.
朋友们。
But I'd like to be friends with you. I'd like to be friends with them. I'd like to open my heart to everyone and let the warmth of love shine in. I'd like to be friends with you. I'd like to be friends with them. I'd like to open my heart to everyone and let the warmth of love shine in. I'd like to be friends with you. I'd like to be friends with them. I'd like to open my heart to everyone and let the warmth of love shine in. I'd like to be friends with you. I'd like to be friends with them. I'd like to open my heart to everyone and let the warmth of love shine in. I'd like to be friends.
朝阳。
The morning sun gently rising, the day's begun. Her gentle rays, they warm dark of night has given way to morning light. I feel my life has just begun. For you're the sun in my life. You help to ease the pain of living with the dark and empty heart. You're my love, can't live without you. You're like the sun, your golden smile, it warms my heart. I feel that if you ever leave, my life would end. The dark of night would close back in. And oh my hopes, oh my dreams will be over. Oh God, Lord, my life would end like the setting of the sun.
Three.
Water falling down the mountainside, running but not struggling, flowing to the ocean wide. Water, gentle streams and rivers, moving, drifting lowest point, and there gaze in love's eyes.
乌欲追求者的忧心忡忡。
I'm always in anxiety, but I don't know why. Afraid I won't get what I want, but I keep trying. And even if I get a hold of what I think I want, I still can't escape the fear of losing what I've got. Deep within my heart, tearing me apart, haunts me all the time. I've got no peace of mind. He's afraid he won't get it. But even if he does, he's afraid he'll lose that which he loves. He's afraid he won't get it. But even if he does, he's sorry when he loses what he loves. Deep within my heart, tearing me apart, haunts me all the time. I've got no peace of mind. I'm what I think I want. I still can't escape the fear of losing what I caught.
Madonna Mohana Murari.
Madonna, Mohana, Murari, Haribo, Madonna, Mohana, Murari, Madonna, Mohana, Madonna, Johanna, Murari.
玩过就扔的爱情。
Took my heart and then you broke it in two. You left me in a pole staring at you. Throw away love. I was nothing more than a little plastic toy for you to kick around while you enjoyed your disposable love. Throw away love. Tears trickle down so deep into my mind, and I see the burning heartaches go by from throwaway love. Behind these eyes lives a person with feelings, revealing the hurt that you are inflicting, not seeing the mistake. Throw away love. Throw away love. Throw away love. Throw away love. Behind these eyes lives a person with feelings, revealing the hurt that you are inflicting, not seeing the mistake. Throw away love. 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 Throw away love.
秋月。 穷人和富人。
I want a full heart, a heart full of love. I need a clear mind, peaceful and calm. Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo. I once knew a rich man, so empty inside. Although he had so much money, he couldn't even sleep at night. All his wealth couldn't fill his heart or give him real meaning in life. To end his misery, he tried drugs, then finally took his life. We need full hearts, hearts full of love. We need clear minds, peaceful and calm. Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo. I'm not against money. Wealth is no crime. But I'm not going to make it my God, the Lord of my life. For a man can be rich in gold, but poor in his heart and soul. And a man can be poor in wealth, but rich in his heart. Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo, Haribo, nitaiko, Haribo. Haribo.
走遍天涯路。
Walking through the world with no one to call my own. Time passes me by, and I can't hold on to anything. And I know in time I'll be moving on.
I know the time is coming.
I'll be moving on.
I know the time is coming.
I can't stay here long. I'll be moving on.
I know the time is coming.
Walking through the world. I don't know why I left my home behind. Walking through the world. I don't know why I left my home behind. Walking through the world. I don't know why I left my home behind. Walking
黑暗中的巡逻。Nitai Gore
Nitaigo, Nitaigo, Haribo.
Madonna Mohana Muwari.
Madonna, Mohana, Murari, Haribo, Madonna, Mohana, Murari, Madonna, Mohana, Murari, Haribo, Madonna.
您好啊，朋友。
Hello, friend. I'm so happy to see you again, 'cause I've been down and alone, and I'm grateful you've come here to take me home. I've been wandering around with no direction, no. You reached out, took me in, gave me love, you gave me life. You're a real friend. Hello, friend. I'm so happy to see you again, 'cause I've been down and alone, and I'm grateful you've come here to take me home.
Gopala Govinda Rama. Govinda